host of the Gridiron.
All right, baby, welcome to the Gridiron. If you give this video a thumbs up or maybe share this video, that would be absolutely freaking phenomenal. If you subscribe to my channel, thank you. If not, please go down below, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell icon. That way next time I go live, or if I put a video out, you'll be notified. And it's free of charge. What do you got to lose? It's totally free of charge. But if you're subscribed to my channel, thank you. If you want to help support my channel, the description box below, very top link, takes you to my membership page. I got 3 different membership levels. Each one has their own little perks to them. So once again, if you want to help support my channel, it would mean so much to me. And I thank you in advance. Thank you. And then finally, just underneath that, there's another link, takes you to my Facebook group. It's called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. It's my Facebook group. We have over 9,500 members in the group. It is doing simply marvelous, might I add. Basically, if I'm alive and breathing, and if I got internet access, I'm putting stuff in this group darn near 365. It's called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. It's my Facebook group. Please join it. You will not be dissatisfied. I promise. Well, yeah. I'll tell you what. It just, I don't know, man. It just, yeah, just sometimes I don't know. I can't even talk sometimes. It's just so horrible. Why the football is just, I just can't stand it. So sometimes, I'm what a turd I am here. Actually, I'm a Notre Dame fan, and I got an Ohio State jersey and a t-shirt on. But voting for Notre Dame, of course, they lost. I don't want to see the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. Of course, they won. They're going to the championship game. I don't want to see the Eagles in the Super Bowl. Of course, they won. They're going to the championship game. They'll probably go to the Super Bowl. It's about, I said the 2 teams I don't want to see in the Super Bowl, the Eagles and the Chiefs. And both of them are probably going to want to go in the Super Bowl. It's just the only thing I got out of that is only one of those 2 scumbag teams going to wind up winning. So one of those 2 scumbag teams will wind up losing. So I'll be happy about that. But I just, thankfully, at least for Notre Dame anyway, they got to the championship game. They're never quite good enough to, they can't get the 5-star because their academics, is it's tougher to get into Notre Dame than it is other schools, academically. So that's why some of these other schools always seem to have fantastic, unbelievable football players year in and year out, but they don't have to be, academically is good, so they get the better players, because there's a lot of the better players are not academically, Rhodes Scholars. So Notre Dame always has a hard time, but they got to the championship game. I'm very proud of them. They had a very good season. So it is what it is. Unfortunately, 1988 might be the last time they ever win a national title. So it's been, 36 years and counting for Notre Dame. We'll get them next year. Of course, unfortunately, I've been saying it now for 36 years. So it is what it is. But as I said, just these can't. At least the one nice thing was the Raven Bill game was very, very good. You can say, between that, you can go both ways for me anyway, right? The better team won between the Bills and the Ravens. You can also say, on the other hand, the better team didn't win. The Ravens, with the turnovers, the drop pass, and Andrews fumbled the ball lost the fumble for the first time since the dinosaurs roamed the earth, and just, so Buffalo scored 6 points in the second half. They had a hard time moving the ball in the second half. The Ravens defense was very, very good. The Ravens were just walking up and down the field. They were either walking up and down the field to score some points, or they were turning the ball over. But so anyway, it was a very, very good game. The Detroit game, that was exciting. A lot of points and all that. Right. You also kind of thought that there was probably going to be somewhere along the line with the Lions that there was a good chance, because their defense is decimated, totally decimated. If the Eagles' defense was as decimated as the Lions defense, the Eagles not in the championship game. Eagles are lucky because they're relatively healthy. Very, very lucky. Plain and simple. But you've kind of figured was there going to be a point in time where the Lions could not outshoot or outgun or whatever the other team, because there was going to be a point in time where it was going to be, the Lions their defense just being really decimated. Couldn't outpoint the other team, and they had a hard time stopping the Commanders. So all I can hope for is hopefully the Commanders, when they go into Philadelphia on Sunday, hopefully they actually put some points up like they did against the Lions. That would be nice, But because I can't stand the Eagles. But and I can tell you this: if it's the Eagles and the Chiefs, I am not watching the Super Bowl. Absolutely not. Will not watch the Super Bowl. Absolutely not. Can't stand those two teams. Absolutely can't stand. But if we start a little thing here, maybe Shane was right after all. Everybody is always, it is amazing, simply amazing. Always being in a Facebook group, all the giant Facebook groups and all that. I mean, I think I'm like part of like 30 different groups, giant groups. You see people putting all these posts in there and everything, and obviously talking about Shane and this and that and everything, but you don't need a $14, $15 million, whatever, 13 running back to go to the Super Bowl. You don't. Saquon is the beneficiary of, it's almost, I don't want to say the perfect storm, but he's not injured. How many times could we say that when he played with the Giants, right? Their offensive line is one of the best in all football. I think they might have lost one guy, but I mean, other than that, their offensive line's intact. They got like the best offensive line coach, or one of the top 2 or 3 offensive line coaches in all football. They got 2 number 1 wide receivers who are healthy. They got their tight end who just came back. They got a good quarterback. I'm not going to say he's an upper top 5 quarterback or anything like that, but he's a very good quarterback. And obviously he's a good quarterback because he's being surrounded by talent. So I'm just saying with Saquon, it's just like it's like the perfect storm. You don't need a $13, $14, $15 million quarterback, running back to go to Super Bowl. I mean, if you go, so this post on in one of the Facebook groups, and I shared it with my Facebook group. You go to the championship game, the 2 championship games, and you look at, right? Let's see. And it says here, is this from Giants 366? Remove Saquon being on the Eagles from the equation, and you can completely understand why Joe Schoen didn't want to pay a running back. Every year, one team with a highly paid running back makes it to the conference championship game or even a Super Bowl, but they never win. So even if Saquon does win, once again, and I'm gonna go over why, if they're to win, I'm gonna go over why they win. Okay, and it's something I would really like to see him do without in the NFL. Really like to see him do without. That's the only reason why. They're going to win. But I mean, it's just, even if Saquon goes in there and wins the Super Bowl, it still doesn't. The last 15 Super Bowls or so, you don't need to pay. So if 1 out of 16 has a highly paid, and once again, I'm going to show you why in my next couple minutes here, why the Eagles are going to the Super Bowl, why they can afford to go to the Super Bowl. Is that it doesn't. You don't need. I mean, I'm saying every now and then a blind squirrel you'll get a nut. Every now and then you'll get a team, right, that goes to the Super Bowl that has a that maybe wins a Super Bowl that has a high pay running back once in a while, right? But you don't need it, right? And I said once again, I'm going to show you in a couple of minutes why the Eagles are in the Super Bowl, right? If they were like, as I said, something I'd really like to see them do away with. Right? Something I'd really like to see him do away with. And it would totally eliminate the Eagles from being in the Super Bowl. I can guarantee you that. I can't stand the Eagles. Absolutely can't stand the Eagles. But at least I know I won't be watching if they get in there. If they get there. Let's see. When you have an elite offensive line that stays healthy, they're lucky. They stayed healthy. A lot of other teams have decimated offensive line. They played 17 games. A lot of other teams are decimated. Not the Eagles. They're lucky. A great running game. One of the best offensive line coaches in all football, Jeff Stoutland. You can take it pretty far, but it hasn't proven to be a winner yet. And I'm saying, even if he does win, whoop-de do. That's one out of the last 20 Super Bowls that they've had a top-rated running back on a team. You don't need it, right? So you go to the championship game. Right? Saquon's making $12.5 million, but I think it's even more than that because I think he has. I don't know what they are. He's got incentives. So if he I don't know if to win a Super Bowl or something. I don't know. I don't know what the incentives, but I believe he has incentives. Okay. So, he might make 13 or maybe 14. I don't know. Okay. But I said, if you take, the 4 running backs in this championship, the 2 championship games, right? James Cook is making $1.4 million. Don't need a high-paid running back. Kareem Hunt, $1.2 million. And Brian Robinson, $1.2 million. Okay. Saquon is making he's making 10 times what Kareem Hunt is. He's making 10 times what Brian Robinson is, and he's making, I don't know, maybe 9 times what James Cook is. I mean, you don't need. Okay. Then, of course, if you go back to, we go back here. Where are we at here? Right? You go back over the Super Bowl winning teams, their top running backs. Okay. Last year, Isaiah Pacheco, his salary cap was 0.4% of the team's salary cap. That's what he got paid, 0.4%. 2022, Isaiah Pacheco, once again, 0.3% he made of the team's salary cap. Cam Akers with the Rams in 2021, 0.8% of the team's salary cap. Leonard Fournette with the Buccaneers, he made 1.2%. Now, I'm going to go here. Leonard Fournette, he made, let's see here. He made $2 million with the Bucs in 2020. Damian Williams with the Chiefs in 2019. He made 0.9%. Damian Williams, he made $1,050,000. $1 million, basically. He made $1 million with the Chiefs in 2019, and he won a Super Bowl. Sonny Michel with the Patriots. He made 1% of the salary cap in 2018. He made $480,000, Sonny Michel, his base salary. $480,000. That's what he was paid. LeGarrette Blount with the Eagles, he made $900,000. He made 0.7%. Let's see. Then LeGarrette Blount once again in 2016 with the Patriots. He made $760,000. Broncos, 2015, when the Broncos beat the Panthers. C.J. Anderson made $585,000. He made 0.4% team salary cap. And once again, LeGarrette Blount, once again, okay, 2014 with the Patriots. $730,000. And now you go to 2013. Okay. Now here they got, it's interesting. One thing says they got Percy Harvin, made 2.5 million. I can't. That doesn't make any sense. I don't know. I don't know how. Marshawn Lynch, but I mean, even still, Marshawn Lynch wasn't making a ton of money. Anyone, obviously, nowhere near. Right. Then you got Ray Rice with the Ravens. He made $2 million. On Bradshaw, some guy, right? 2011, some guy from the Giants, right? He was making 1.5 million. James Starks, he made with the Packers in 2010 when they beat the Steelers. He apparently said he made $320,000. And Pierre Thomas in 2009 when the Saints beat the Colts. He made $460,000. Right? Basically, what you can read from this is that you don't need to break the bank for a running back to get yourself a Super Bowl ring. However, you do need a good quarterback. In fact, by not carving out a ton of your cap space to secure your star back, it does open the door to lock in players that have more impact on landing a Lombardi, such as quarterbacks, offensive tackles, star corners, wide receivers. Right? That's only highlighted even further when you look at the top 10 highest paid running backs in the NFL from the past season. Now, this article here is from like 2020 or something like that, but for the most part, their teams didn't do so hot. 8 of those backs were on clubs that failed to even make the postseason. Let's see. And let's see here. Top 10 highest paid running backs in the NFL. They owned a record of 68, 91, and 1 combined record. Not only are teams who are paying top dollar for back not winning the Super Bowl, but they're barely even making the playoffs and can't manage to be over 500. Now, of course, let's not forget Derrick Henry, right? Don't forget that. But, Derrick Henry has Lamar Jackson, quite possibly maybe his 3rd MVP in a row. And, of course, one of the reasons why Derrick Henry is so good with Lamar Jackson is because, if everybody just crowds the line of scrimmage and as soon as, Lamar goes to hand the ball to, Derrick Henry, all 11 guys on defense crowd up for Derrick Henry. And if Lamar would tuck the ball and maybe curl around the outside, he might have a touchdown, right? So that's one of the things that makes, a little bit this year. But Derrick Henry's unbelievable, right? But for the most part, you don't need to pay running back. And as I said, Saquon might go to the Super Bowl. He might win a Super Bowl. Good for him, but you do not need. Right? He came from the Bills, right? Shane, right? They had ways of doing things. He had his per dollar per positional figure, and he wasn't going to blow the bank on it, right? A lot of times when Buffalo did well, obviously they had Josh Allen, but they might have a star receiver that they were paying money for, right? They didn't go out of their way. They're as you saw, as I just read off, their star backs making a little over $1 million, right? Even Jahmyr Gibbs, who led the league in touchdowns, and he had like 20 touchdowns. He's making like $4.8 million. Saquon's making almost 3 times the amount of money he is. Jahmyr Gibbs scored 20 touchdowns. Right? And Saquon's making, right? And I said if the Lions defense wasn't decimated, if they were healthy, like the Eagles, are healthy, right? If the Lions defense was healthy, quite possibly the Lions might have wound up beating the Commanders. But it is what it is. But once again, it just goes to show you, as I said, even if Saquon goes to the Super Bowl and the Eagles win, okay. But if you go back over past 15 Super Bowls, right, that would be the first out of the last 15 Super Bowls that you had a running back winning a Super Bowl right, who got paid a lot of money. That'd be the first out of 15. That would be like going to the casinos and you sit down, okay? You sit down at a game and they're like, "Here's a different type of game. Let me give you the rules, okay? I'm going to flip a coin, okay? And it's a special coin, magical coin. I'm going to flip it 15 times, okay? 15 times. 14 out of every 15 times I'm going to flip it. It's going to come up heads. 1 out of those 15 is going to turn up tails. Right? 14 out of 15 times it's going to turn up heads. So that would be like somebody going to the table, sitting down, right? And the guy tells them the rules, and it's a magical coin. 14 or 15 times it's going to come up heads. That would be like some moron going, sitting down at the game and picking tails 14 out of 15 times. That would just doesn't make much sense. I mean, would it be nice to have? Sure. But would he, would Saquon be doing what he's doing with the? No, of course not. But you know, it's a copycat league, right? You kind of want to go with the, what gets you there. Obviously, as we're going to say, right? I mean, but one thing you do need, okay, to get to the to a Super Bowl is a quarterback, right? You need a quarterback, and that's one of the things the Giants, definitely need. I mean, if you look at, where the Giants are, right? Let's see here, where we at here. I'm going to read off. I mean, I can go all the way back to the beginning. I think it was like the first 14 or whatever it was Super Bowls, right? Were Hall of Fame quarterbacks. But I mean, if you look, I mean, one thing you need, right? Okay. Then these are the last. I'm going to read off the last, like, Patrick Mahomes won the last 2 Super Bowls. Hall of Fame quarterback. Matthew Stafford. Okay. That's a tough one. That's a tough one. I mean, I don't. He won the Super Bowl. Okay. And he beat Joe Burrow. Right. But you can say you have 2, elite quarterbacks there. Now, Joe Burrow might, as time goes by, he might make it. I mean, but Matthew Stafford, not quite sure. Not quite sure. Very good quarterback. Very, very good quarterback. All right. But go to the 2020 Super Bowl. Tom Brady, Hall of Famer. Beat Patrick Mahomes, Hall of Famer. 2019, the Chiefs won. Patrick Mahomes, Hall of Famer. 2018, Tom Brady, right, beat Jared Goff. But Tom Brady, Hall of Famer. 2017, Nick Foles. But who did he beat? Tom Brady, Hall of Famer. 2016, Tom Brady won, Hall of Famer. 2015, Peyton Manning, Hall of Famer. 2014, Tom Brady, Hall of Famer. 2013, now this one's a little I don't know. Russell Wilson. He got the back-to-back Super Bowls. He should have won back-to-back Super Bowls. A little iffy. But anyway, 2013, Russell Wilson beat Peyton Manning, Hall of Famer. 2012, you got Colin Kaepernick and Joe Flacco. 2011, Eli Manning, Hall of Famer. Going to be Hall of Famer. Tom Brady, he beat Tom Brady, Hall of Famer. 2010, Aaron Rodgers, future Hall of Famer, beat Ben Roethlisberger, future Hall of Famer. 2009, Drew Brees, future Hall of Famer, beat Hall of Famer Peyton Manning. 2008, Ben Roethlisberger, future Hall of Famer, beat Kurt Warner, Hall of Famer. 2007, Eli Manning, future Hall of Famer, beat Tom Brady, future Hall of Famer. 2008, Peyton Manning, Hall of Famer, beat Rex Grossman. I still don't even know how the Bears got in there. But anyway, 2005, Ben Roethlisberger, future Hall of Famer. 2004, Tom Brady, future Hall of Famer. 2003, future Hall of Famer Tom Brady. Then, of course, you had Brad Johnson, but the Tampa Bay had a phenomenal defense. 2001, Tom Brady beat Kurt Warner, Hall of Famer, right? I mean, you can just go on and on. I mean, I said, then if you look here, I said, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. First 14 Super Bowls, the winning quarterbacks were Hall of Famer. And out of those first 14, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 out of the losing teams, right? Those first 14, the losing team had Hall of Fame quarterbacks. So, so the one thing you do need, okay, as we know right now, without question, you got to have your quarterback. That's what you do need, right? As I said, Joe Schoen, and of course, what made it look even worse was, of course, the off-season hard knocks. That's what made it look even worse. If that was not even a part of the equation, right, the Giants would not have looked as bad. It's just because he said that on Hard Knocks made him look as bad as he did, right? Now, of course, if say Saquon got injured in week 2 of the season, tore his ACL, he was out all year, Joe Schoen would look pretty good, wouldn't he? Yeah. Right? Saquon's having a great year. He might wind up winning the Super Bowl. Joe Schoen looks like an idiot. If Saquon Barkley gets injured, misses almost the whole season, Joe Schoen looks like a genius. If Saquon Barkley goes to the Eagles and gets injured, like the way he used to with the Giants, right? Joe Schoen looks like a genius, right? But I mean, a lot of it also has to do with the hard knocks, because listen to Shane. You don't need a $40 million quarterback handing off to a $15 million running back. You don't need that. Made Joe Schoen look really, really bad. Hard knocks, but once again, year in and year out, even if Saquon wins, if he does, good for him. It means like the last 1 out of the last 15 Super Bowls, a high-paid running back. What happened last year? McCaffrey, high-paid running back, got to the Super Bowl, lost. Right? So you don't need a high-paid running back to get to the Super Bowl. You do need a quarterback, and that's what the Giants are trying to get to. That's what they're trying to do.